Okay, so this is a quick demo of the Libro app, which is what you'll be doing to log food. So I've opened the app and it will look like this, kinda. There might not be all the same little different options on there. These just kind of tell you how many calories you eat and how many calories you burn. How many omega-3s you've had. Most of that I would ignore unless you're going to use the app full time for calorie counting. What I'd suggest is don't worry about how many calories you've got in. Use it purely just for logging what you've been eating day by day. In terms of putting a nutrition plan together or a meal plan, that'd work on a periodized basis anyway, where you'd have pretty much different macros, different nutrients, certainly different energy targets each day. So a lot of calorie counting kind of goes out the window depending on what kind of day you're having, where you are in your training plan, what type of adaptations you're trying to make, and also in terms of what your training is for that specific day or the following day, or if you're in recovery. So anyway, to show you the app, first things first, if you go down to the bottom, go to log, click on where the little pencil is. What that'll do is give you the opportunity to log different foods, obviously for breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks, and you can also put activities in there. So simply say where it says add items to your log, press the plus key. That'll come up with various little things, and what it'll do, it'll start to learn what you eat the most, and then it will start to bring those up into your log. So if you look at mine, you can clearly see that I drink a lot of coffee, take supplements, vitamin D, some omega-3s, treat myself to a bit of brioche every now and then, chia seeds, things like that, a bit of oat milk, blueberries, basically all the stuff I have for breakfast. So this would cover me Monday to Friday, and then I treat myself to some Richmond sausages on the weekend. At the top, there's suggested breakfasts and things like that as well. You can put in your own recipes in there. So for instance, if you eat the same thing for breakfast every day, as most people do, you can put this together really quickly as a recipe, and then just add it as a whole recipe, which I'll show you in a minute. But if you just log in a basic breakfast, you can simply go to the top to enter a search word. So if I put granola, it's got what? Jordan's granola, and then it'll come up with serving suggestions. So 50 grams is the usual serving. So simply click on that, press the tick at the bottom right corner, and then it says one item selected. So if you kind of go through and start to put in various things, so if you're having a cup of coffee, put that in. Chia seeds, all right, 1 tablespoon, let's say, bang that in. If you've got milk in your coffee, so I have oat milk, so choose a portion size. So I'll probably have, usually 2 cups of coffee, so that's about 50 ml. So 50 grams, exactly the same. Press the tick. So along the bottom, you see 4 items selected. I also want yogurt. I have 200 grams of that. So bang that in, and then let's just finish it off with a few blueberries. So 10 grams. If I want to think, well, actually I have 20 grams. Press the plus key on the right of the blueberries, and that will double it up. If you press the minus key, it'll halve it. So you can change that around pretty quickly. So if you press the tick on the bottom, so there are all the items you've selected for breakfast. So once you've done this, on the bottom right, the far right, you'll see the old school floppy disk icon, which some tech geek must have come up with a font for that. But anyway, you press that, that will save them all to your breakfast. So you've got there 8 a.m. breakfast. So as you go through your day, you can start adding these. So here comes lunch. All right, what I've got for lunch, mid-morning snack, bit of brioche, more coffee, obviously, Bucks mug this time, bit of protein, bang that in, save it again, and there's lunch. So as you go through each day, just simply top them up. What I would say is add these as you go. it's really important. If you do it at the end of a day, recall's always a little bit different. So as you go through the day, try and weigh all your food, try and measure it out, get a good understanding of the weights and how much you're putting in. And then after each meal, put everything in. Make sure you put everything in. So if you have some bread and you have butter on that bread, then, make sure you put the butter in there. If you fry a couple of eggs, make sure you put the oil in as well that you fry them with. So try and account for absolutely everything. At the bottom, it's got activities. So you can put activities in there as well. You can either write these down and send them over to me on an email or a Word doc, or just add them in yourself. So every activity basically, takes a certain amount of calories. So watching TV, sitting down, for instance, right, enter duration. All right, I'm going to watch, I'm going to watch Apocalypse Now tonight. So what am I on? I'll watch the Redux version, 4 hours. So that's that. And then I might go for a bit of a run. How long do I want to go? Let's say an hour. I'll put that in and then save it again. So that's in my activities. I won't worry about those too much, but certainly make a note of all them, just because one of the most important aspects of thinking about your daily energy balance is, how much non-exercise you do. So these are just daily activities, which include sitting down, watching TV, doing office work, walking to the shops, walking to pick kids up from school, doing cooking, things like that. And that can make a massive difference of over 500 calories a day. So what we've got here are the totals of a day so far. So I've saved all that. If I go to the bottom left, I can view totals. So that's all logged basically. And then if you see up on the top left, it says calories eaten. So 742 in total. And then it's got a little ring next to it about calories burned. Again, I won't worry about that too much, or any of the other metrics on there. So the most important thing is logging a food, adding it in. So a bit of salmon, and then remembering to save it by pressing the floppy disk icon. And then that's done. So that adds everything. So that goes through day by day. And that means I'll be able to look at that data as soon as you've saved that. So I can check up on it. And then after 7 days, we've got a really good, full, accurate diary of what you've been doing. So that's a main feature. A couple other little features then if you want to use it. Obviously, you've got food in there, so you can create a recipe. So as I said, if you eat the same thing for breakfast or lunch, quickly knock together all those ingredients into a recipe, and then you're only adding one thing rather than lots and lots of different things. I'd say most people have the same breakfast pretty much every day. If I use this for wider reports, I can share reports with you, I can share menus with you, I can share different recipes. I won't worry about that too much for now. Here's reports, things like that. Here's a store, which it calls a store, where you can start adding different metrics that you want to check yourself. If you're interested in looking at how many omega-3s you're having, or how much caffeine or alcohol you're having each day, you can add those and they will come up as these little circles on the home screen. So pretty simple. If I go down to the bottom right, what I've got there is I can actually talk to the app and ask it to find a food, and it'll find the food. When you do a search, if you can't find a certain food, then you can go to the barcode there. So you press barcode, and then I've not got a barcode at the moment. I've got my Bob Graham certificate, which I don't think I'm going to get anything free from that, not even a car sticker. So if I had a tin of beans now, I'd be able to scan that and it'd come up with Heinz baked beans, things like that. You can always add your own foods in there as well by pressing the plus sign. So that's pretty much it. I'll leave it there for now, but if you've got any questions, things like that, let me know and I can do a bit of a walkthrough with you, and I can check the data at my end. Cheers then.